We have been going through the 5 rhetorical modes. We are up to the 5th and final one, which is argument. Now, what is an argument? Well, in an argument paragraph, we're going to take a strong position on a controversial topic and stick to it. Now, what does the word controversial mean? We all know basically the connotation of that word, but what does it really mean? Well, a controversial topic is simply one where people have strong opinions on both sides. So, for example, chocolate ice cream is delicious would not be a controversial statement, because even if there was somebody out there who doesn't like ice cream, or doesn't like chocolate ice cream, they're not going to have just like really passionate, strong feelings one way or the other. You're not going to get into an argument with someone over whether chocolate ice cream is delicious. On the other hand, ice cream should be banned from school cafeterias. That's a controversial statement, because I guarantee there are people who would feel very strongly on both sides of that statement. So that's what controversial basically means. Now, in an argument paragraph, we also want to persuade our reader to accept our position. We're going to call on them to either believe something or to take some kind of action. So it's not merely to inform or to entertain. In a different rhetorical mode, say like exemplification, we may be just trying to teach our reader something, or give them some information, or maybe entertain them in some way. But in an argument, that's not our goal. Our goal is to convince someone to either believe something or to do something. Now, so what should our topic sentence look like in an argument? Well, remember, all topic sentences need 2 parts, a limited topic and an idea about the topic. And here, our topic sentence also needs to take a clear stance on one side or the other. This is not the time to be fair. Sometimes we have just gotten it trained into us that we're always supposed to look at both sides. We're supposed to be fair. Well, in an argument, it's your job to take one side and argue just that one side. For example, this is an incorrect topic sentence. There are both good and bad aspects to the high school prom. Well, that may be true. It probably is true, but that's not an argument. Here's a correct topic sentence. I believe that high school prom should be banned. Well, that's a strong statement. You've taken a strong stand against the prom. And while you can acknowledge later in your paragraph that there may be good points, but your writing, your goal is to convince someone that high school prom should be banned. So you're just going to take that stand. Now, once you have stated that point, you've established your position, you have to provide supporting evidence to convince someone to believe you. And the best way to do that is to be specific, to give specific examples. What would it take for you to convince someone to ban the high school prom? You'd have to really come up with some very good reasons, some sound logic and specific examples. Remember to anticipate and address opposing arguments. If there's an obvious opposing argument, then you should mention it and then offer your own counter argument. We also need to establish credibility, which means to convince our readers that we know what we're talking about. If you have never been to prom, you would have a hard time convincing someone that your position is worth listening to. So you have to establish your own authority on the topic. Remember to appeal to the audience. Tone is probably more important in this rhetorical mode than any other, because we need the reader on our side. So how do we do that? We'll try to remain as clear and logical as possible, give specific examples that your audience can relate to, and most of all, avoid language that is inflammatory or inappropriate. You don't want to call someone stupid who doesn't agree with you. You don't want to paint the opposing side as immoral or anti-American or things like that, because that's not going to bring anyone over to your way of thinking. You're actually going to alienate anyone who might disagree with you. So we got to work that writing process. Let's go through the 4 steps in the writing process. Pre-writing, you're going to take that strong stand and fill up a page with supporting evidence using whichever pre-writing technique works for you. Then you're going to pick out your best 3 supporting points and address any obvious counter arguments. Be specific. Then you're going to write your sketch outline. write a topic sentence, put the points in emphatic order, add your transition words, and then you're all ready to write your rough draft. After you write your rough draft, don't forget to revise and edit. Check for spelling and grammar errors, look for left out words, reword any awkward sentences, add variety to your sentences, make sure that you've got plenty of specific detail in there. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and work through the first 3 steps in the writing process. We're going to do some pre-writing, get some ideas on paper, and then write a sketch outline.